Molly Cheng, age 23, was a tattoo and beauty artist in Maplewood, a Vietnamese community in Minnesota. She trained for cosmetic eyebrow tattoos at E&S Lounge in St. Paul. Molly was married to Yi Lee, age 27. Both Molly and Yi was born in Thailand, and grew up in the Thai refugee camp, Wat Tam Krabok. Both Molly and Yi were the last wave of Hmong refugees from Wat Tam Krabok in the early 2000s. The couple met in the Twin Cities, and had been together for 7 years. The couple had 3 children. 5-year-old Phoenix, 4-year-old Quadrillion, 3-year-old Estella. Molly and Yi both ran a nail and hair salon in Brooklyn Park. The couple lived in the Rolling Hills Estate Mobile Home Park in Maplewood, Minnesota, a Vietnamese community. Molly is biologically Burmese and Thai. Her Hmong parents were not able to have children, so they purchased Molly from her biological parents in Thailand. Because Molly looks different than others in the Hmong community, she was bullied as a child. She was much darker than the other children, so they made fun of her, and called her terrible names. However, Molly's mother adored her, and loved her very much. Her father never had much to do with her, but her mother made up for that. However, a few years ago Molly's mother passed away, and her father remarried. Her stepmother disliked her. When Molly married Yi Lee, his family did not approve of her. The family would make accusations from the beginning of their relationship. They constantly accused Molly of cheating without any valid reason. Molly was met with disapproval at every turn. She left her husband many times but always returned when he threatened suicide. She felt like an outsider within her own family, and within the community. She also felt her children weren't loved because she was their mother. On the morning of July 1st in 2022, Yi and Molly were arguing. He threatened to kill himself in front of his kids and wife. When the argument escalated, he stood at the doorway to their bedroom, put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger, killing himself. His wife, Molly Cheng, called police and reported the suicide. When police arrived at the home, Molly's father also arrived and was going to take the children with him. However, when her father was about to leave, she changed her mind and kept the children. 2 social workers, including one who speaks Hmong, visited with Molly and the children to help them through the trauma. After Molly convinced the social workers she was fine, the pair left. Later that evening, after family left Molly and the children, Yi's family members went live on Facebook about the tragedy and bashed Molly. They called her horrible names such as home wrecker, cheater, and evil. Distraught, she called an uncle and told him she couldn't take it anymore, and was going to drown herself and her children. Distraught, the mother of 3 drove her children to the lake where she walked all 3 of her children into the water and drowned them together. She then drowned herself in the water. Concerned relatives contacted authorities fearing Molly was suicidal. Authorities put out an attempt to locate notice for Cheng. At 5:45 p.m. police were able to track her cell phone to Lake Vadnais. Police were able to locate the car parked near the lake, and became concerned when they spotted 3 tiny pairs of children's shoes all lined up in a row in front of the lake. A set of keys were also found near the shoes. Police began searching the lake, and at 7:30 p.m. they discovered the body of the first child, Quadrillion. First responders attempted CPR but to no avail. Shortly after midnight, 5-year-old Phoenix was discovered floating in the lake. The search was called off until the next morning. At approximately 10:40 a.m. on July 2nd, Molly's body was found on the lake. About 20 minutes later, 3-year-old Estella's body was recovered. Our hearts go out to the family, friends, and community impacted by this terrible tragedy, Ramsey County Undersheriff Mike Martin said in a public statement. The sheriff's office is continuing to investigate the circumstances of this incident to provide clarity and closure to the surviving family members. Susan Hatters Friedman, A professor of forensic psychiatry at Case Western Reserve University in Ohio, said, "This is a horrific crime for people to understand and imagine, and that's why it's helpful to be aware of the different essential motives. A lot of times people rush to judgment about what was the motive in a certain case, but until all the facts come out it's difficult to say in some cases." She continued by saying, "A loving parent who, either because of psychosis or depression, thinks that they love their child and that they're really saving them by killing them." She said in some of these cases, a parent who's severely depressed and is going to kill themselves, who loves their child, may think, "I'm leaving this awful world myself, but I don't want to leave this child who I love here alone in this awful world without a parent." The Ramsey County Medical Examiner's Office determined that Yi Lee died of suicide from a single gunshot wound to the head. Quadrillion, Phoenix, and Estella all died from drowning, and Molly committed suicide by drowning. A family relative, Chong Lu Lee, said both families are having a difficult time coping with the losses, and that he misses the children. He said they are so young, and had a bright future. "I wish this never happened to them." He continued saying there were things that happened in the couple's relationship, but urged people not to speculate about what caused the events. Lee said he wasn't aware of either Yi or Molly suffering from mental illness. He said both were nice, kind people. He said when he and others arrived at the couple's home after Yi committed suicide, police had taped the home off and wouldn't allow him or others inside. He said Molly and the children were present. He said the family discussed what to do with the children, and agreed that Molly's father should take them for the night. He said Molly disagreed, and told the police that her children had to stay with her. Eventually the family left, hoping the police would supervise the situation. He said, "We greatly appreciate that the police were present at the scene, but wished they could do more to prevent the loss of the other 4 lives. Leaders in the Hmong community feel the children's deaths could have been prevented. We wish there would be 24-hour supervision for the mother and the children because of the father, because of what happened to him." In a short time, less than 3 hours, the police released the mother and her kids, and then in the last 3 hours, a thing happened to those children. Wouldn't it be better for there to be 24-hour supervision after such a tragedy happened to their loved one? "We had no legal right to hold Molly or her children. At that point in time, there were no statements made or no information that Molly was a danger to herself or her children." Over 100 people attended the candlelit vigil that was held at the lake in remembrance of the lives lost. Both fathers spoke, expressing their feelings, and thanking those who came to show respect. Yi Lee's father said, "My grandchildren have always lifted me up until this point and I don't know what to do anymore. I'm heart-stricken and I hurt so much that I do not know what to say to the community. This tragedy has struck me, and my grandchildren, and it makes me stressful, and it makes sometimes to the point where I'm so shaken that I don't know what to do anymore." A memorial of flowers, stuffed animals and candles were placed in the area where the children's shoes were found. Racism gets passed down through families like it's a genetic condition. It's taught or implied from an early age through one's life, from one generation to the next. In this case, Molly was mistreated because she was different. She was bullied for being different by kids when she was small, and by her husband's family when she was grown. It's sad that this beautiful young woman was treated so poorly by her husband's family. Although it's horrific that she took her children with her, it's almost understandable with the family she had around her. Why would she want to leave her children behind, knowing they would be treated the same as she was treated? Molly's life and death should be a stark reminder that we should never treat people different because someone doesn't look like we do. We should always speak up when someone is being mistreated, no matter who it is. Nobody should talk down to someone because of how they look. It's sad that Molly didn't have anyone she could reach out to for help. I think Molly isn't the only one to be blamed for what happened. Her community and family members on both sides should take a long hard look at themselves for what happened. Did Molly feel by murdering her children she was protecting them from the same cruel life she was given? There's no excuse for taking innocent lives, it's horrific. It's also horrifying to think that someone could be treated the way Molly was treated, and by her very own family. May all the victims in this case reset in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Want to help support the channel you love, and get something in return? Simply purchase some Elizabeth's Chronicles merch. We have coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, cozy blankets, beach towels, phone covers and more. Use the coupon code EC10OFF4U and get 10% off your order. The link to order is in the description area below this video. Thanks for helping Elizabeth's Chronicles continue to make the videos you love.